This is Jonathan Agger, fifth for Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Johnny Nelson ahead of one of the most eagerly anticipated all-female fights of all time, Claressa Shields against Savannah Marshall. First of all, just to take a word out of your book, show business.
Show business, man, and that last, this is sold almost, well, I think it's sold out. I think they've got a few £25 tickets left. The beginning of the week I heard there were 4,000 sold. Then it went up to 11,000, 13,000. I think the maximum, I don't know what the maximum is, but there's hardly any tickets left. And I think it will attract a crowd that people, it'll be a different crowd. It'll capture the imaginations of so many different people. Good fight, great lineup at the end of the press conference. All the fights were there. And I saw the present and the future. I saw some amazing talent up there. And in the women's boxing at the moment, the in-between, there's not enough fat fillers in between. You've either got really bad or really good fighters. Up there in that presser, you had really good fighters. And I think it's going to be an amazing night. 2012, I remember in the Olympics, I think, especially for the UK, our medal tally was the highest in all of the sports. And the best sport was the women's boxing. I was there, I went out there. And so to me, I just think this is the future.
Talk to me about the gloves are off, what you took from that in terms of their personalities. Does this have kind of everything you'd want in terms of a clash of personalities, clash of like British, American culture, things like that?
Yes, without a doubt. Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall, they'll meet 100 times. And 99 times out of that 100, Claressa Shields will verbally have it on Savannah. She's verbally too sharp, too smart, too braggadocious, too loud in your face. Savannah can only respond instead of being the offender and the offensive one of the two of them. That's when it comes to verbal. Claressa is the reason why everybody knows who Claressa is, because she does that and she can back up the boast. So you've got to honour with that. She's happy to listen to the hate and let the haters hate, but she'll still keep winning and keep fighting. So you've got to give her that. But and you've got to look at the fact that she keeps talking that loss to Savannah. The only person that keeps bringing it up is Claressa. Saying Savannah keeps talking about it, and Savannah actually just responds to it. Savannah was smart upstairs. She said, look, you're a bully, number one. Number two, one thing you don't like about me is the fact that I answer you back. I've got an opinion. And Claressa, that was actually factual. That was bang on. So I just think these two characters they'll never go out for a drink together. They'll never be best mates, but they'll make great enemies.
Is there an element that Claressa has never had an opponent really, and don't mean this disrespectfully, that a lot of people believe that will beat her? And she's very proud, and so she should be, of all of her accomplishments. We may never see someone accomplish what she's accomplished again, but is there an element that because people believe that she is beatable, that's what's kind of...
If you say it enough and you keep repeating it, then people believe it. If I say, I saw you fight the other day and you fought 3 men and you smashed them, even if it's not true, and then I told 10 people, that 10 people told 10 people, that 10 people told 10 people, all of a sudden you've not had a fight in your life and everybody's thinking, shit, he's a bad man, him, because 50% of those people are going to believe you did that. So if you keep saying something about yourself and other people start saying it, people start believing it. So the realest person on stage was Peter Fury. No, not they said, you two are box crap fighters. You two are the best fighters in the world. And this is a 50-50 fight. And if you're looking at any other way, you're idiots. And Peter Fury has clearly rubbed off on Savannah, because she's laid back, she's calm, she's very matter of fact. And I just thought, you know what, bang on. I just think she good for her.
Name me the scenarios on how this fight could play out.
Two ways. Claressa is so angry and so frustrated that she tries to put the pressure on Savannah from the off and keeps walking into shots. If she can't get past the jab, because Savannah is naturally very strong, walks into a shot, doubles impact, gets knocked out. If she doesn't get knocked out, Savannah beats her on points. I just can't see Savannah losing.
Why is that?
Because she's grown up now. She's a different fighter. She's a different fighter to the point where she actually she actually has matured. She's learned, her confidence has come because she's learned through successes, good and bad, and that's all your confidence comes from that.
Talk to me about Mikaela against Alycia Baumgardner. It's grown in anticipation. It could have headlined potentially in America. It is the co-main event here. Speaking to Baumgardner, she believes completely that she knocks Maya out. Good. That is good because she has a punch power.
Maya actually looks at it and thinks, you've not got the same credibility as me. What are you doing? Where are you coming from? So what she then does is, if she does that and goes in with that attitude, there's a problem. And the problem is, if you think you're better than someone and you're not respectful enough to think, you're not good enough to beat me, the worst place you want to find that out is in the ring. So Maya needs to have put a bit of respect on the back of Baumgardner's name because she thinks that's going to be a tough fight. Baumgardner can bang, she's confident, she hasn't got a great amateur pedigree. Don't make that fool you, because if you make that fool you, what happens is you get suckered in to believe a false sense of security. That's a good fight.
Johnny, just away from this, Joshua and Fury, 60-40 is the offer, the purse split. Frank Warren says they've got till today decide on the dates of November 26th and December 3rd, I believe. Your thoughts, should Joshua take this fight?
He's accepted it. Good for, if there's one fighter that can motivate him to get his shit together and think, I want this, no matter what, it's Tyson Fury. I think he'd struggle to motivate himself for anybody else because for Anthony Joshua it's not about the dough, it's about his legacy, about what he wants to achieve. Now he couldn't get past Alexander Usyk, which is left him in no man's land thinking, God, what do I do? Then this opportunity comes, great. If you were in his camp, what would you think? Because his head might be all over the place because of what's happened. But if he wants it, that's what he wants now. If he said, let's do this, no reason why not. Tyson Fury said, put the offer out there, he's accepted it. These two are one of the few fighters that are in a position that can call the shots. With the promoters, with the management team and everything. They're the few fighters that can do that. So there's no reason why this fight doesn't happen, because they've both come out and said, let's do it.
Is 64-40 fair with Joshua with no belts, but with the amount he brings to the table?
Very fair, and there was no arguing there. So if it was a bluff from Tyson Fury, and AJ's up to his bluff and said, yeah, okay, rematch 50-50, yeah, okay. He's giving him what he wants, so yeah, okay, and so now if it doesn't happen, the only person you can blame is Tyson Fury. And so when they're saying AJ don't want any of Tyson Fury or Tyson Fury doesn't want any of AJ, the buck stops for the fighters. So whatever reason this fight doesn't happen, the fighters need to understand it falls at their feet. So if it's Anthony Joshua saying, no, you know what, I want X, Y, Z, I want petals in my dressing room. Tyson Fury says, no, I want X, Y, Z, and I want you to jump through a million hoops. It stops with the fighters. So the public will then see, they'll be able to critique, they'll be able to say, well, you know what, you said X, Y, Z, so we'll have to wait and see.
What do you say when some people would say, why fight Fury now and risk losing 3 in a row when you could rebuild, potentially fight White?
Because his drive is to be the best. As long as Alexander Usyk's around, he knows that mountain to climb at the top of it is going to be limited. Tyson Fury is that fight that he's always wanted and the public have always wanted, but he's probably wanted it more. That can motivate him, I suppose, like Cal Brook and Amir Khan. Cal Brook's desire to train and work to the best of his ability had gone until the Amir Khan fight came. And when that came, he trained for 6 months. He was in brilliant condition. He got the job done. But that same Cal Brook cannot turn up for future fights down the road.
Last one on this. Who, in your opinion, is the bigger draw, Fury or Joshua?
I think they're both equally. Well, I'd have said Joshua before, but now both equally. And Tyson Fury has established his dominance as a big draw, and Anthony Joshua has as well. So if you're honest, you'd say, you know what, it's equal.
2 quick ones. You've got Canelo against Golovkin next week. Prediction?
I reckon Canelo. I think Canelo, they boxed 3 times. I thought Golovkin won the first, Canelo definitely won the second. I didn't think he'd get any better. Third one, Canelo, I think he's less shot worn or lively. He's had consistency in his career. So I'd lean to Canelo.
And finally, a couple of weeks away is Joyce against Parker. What do you think of that?
Good fight. Joyce is a tough guy, man. You don't disrespect him, you don't ignore him. And Joyce, I think he's the juggernaut. He's a slow burner. He's the one that will put you under pressure. So I think Joyce, tough, strong. He'll wait. He'll take his time, but he'll eventually mess you up. So Joyce, you've got to go with him.
Charlie Nelson, thanks for taking time and enjoy fight night.
Sweet, thank you.